Hi, welcome to the new episode of Being Surreal, and your Surreal is back with another video. And I'm a writer, and I thought it would be good to have a guest who recently published her book, and we can share some insight and we can really talk about books. So I have Riya Jain with me, who recently published her book. Let's hear more from her.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Riya Jain and I'm currently in Ahmedabad traveling to Surat for holidays.
Oh, that's nice. Like, give a little intro. Tell
So,
me a little about your book, and please show it too, like close up in the camera.
so I started, like I didn't start writing this book, but of course this book has been in books for 12 years now because, like I started writing when I was in fifth. And then from then on I just kept writing it and from 5 years later, like from 7 years ago, I started publishing, getting them published in anthologies. So of course, I just got them compiled in one book and made them my own.
Yeah, the cover looks really nice. Yeah, I
Of
saw
course,
it
it's
in the picture. It like there's a damn good. I really appreciate the
yes,
artist. You made the
yeah.
cover, or you had someone?
The publisher actually hires a graphic designer
Okay,
with them in her house.
okay.
So I just sent them this particular picture that I
Hmm,
wanted something like this. They
okay.
took a bit of changes here and there, and of course, added on my book's name and my name on it, and copyrighted to the graphic designer.
Okay. So the book is about poems and short stories.
Yes, so it's like I majorly there are short poems in it,
Hmm.
but of course there are short stories also, and there are some few act characters that are actually inspired by some people in real life.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
one of them, of course, is from Jackie Shroff and Tiger Shroff. So
Oh,
that
thank you.
two, and those two are featured in the book, but with a different name. Because
Okay.
of course I didn't have any contact or anything established with the two actors to get the permission to
Yeah,
use them.
2 years back.
Yes,
Okay,
so I had to change them.
yeah. Copyright is a big issue. We all understand.
Copyrighted issue.
Like from my Quora days, whenever I used to write something on Quora and I would be telling something, I had to use Mr. ABC or XYZ. Like I like no, I'm not gonna even give them names. I will just use ABC. But I assume you have used proper names here because ABC won't be good in a book.
Yeah, I did use proper names, but I just changed it, and of course I did use some examples just to highlight or give a hint of whom might the character be based upon.
It follows a fiction theme.
Yes, of course it follows a fiction theme because not all of it happened in real life. Of course, they were inspired by real life events, but all of it is a fiction work.
Just like fiction for fun or like self-help or something? Or
It's
is it just
kind
some
of it's kind of majorly fiction, but
okay.
of course, somewhere or the other, some people do connect with one emotion or the other, which is being
Hmm.
portrayed in the stories and the film.
Like whenever I write poem, most of it are like somewhat sad vibe. It's like about darkness and there's a little hope of getting out, but it's not getting out, but just there's just hope. So for me, I usually follow that kind of theme in my writing.
For me, it's like basically when I'm writing anything, be it for a blog, be it for something else, be it for my own book, or
Hmm.
be it quotes or captions, the genre or the message behind is usually different.
Okay.
Sometimes it is just romance, sometimes it
Hmm.
is just love between two people. It can be romantic love, it can be a
Okay.
sibling love, it can be, any type of love.
Hmm.
Just love overall. It is sometimes, scary feeling and the feeling towards someone, a protective feeling towards someone, a progressive thought shown in the book stories. It's kind of a different for each and
Okay.
every story.
I really explore the areas which I'm more interested in when I try to do it for personal work. But when I'm like doing it for like freelancing or something, I have to do according to them. Like if it's an article, I'll just write an article simply. But if I'm writing on my own and it's a story, I would like go for the like I'll explore the dark themes like thriller or horror. Like I have written stories and they were on a blog, but now they are I have taken them down. But they followed the theme of psychological thriller. For me, that's very fascinating. As like
Most of
I
my
yeah.
and songs are actually, inspired by songs and actually other stories that are out there. That are already out there, and then I just, be inspired by them. And of course, I do give the due credit because uh,
Correct.
without them, I wouldn't have written.
When I try to write something, for me as an author, like I would want to my reader to feel everything what I'm feeling. So when you were writing this book, what was like actually going on in your mind? Like what's your preferred writing style and
So, like, if I'm hearing a song, or if I'm like, okay, I want to do something special for them.
hmm,
So, at my mind, I don't think anything. What I do is I write once if I'm writing poem for instance. So what I do is say there is a poem on a brother. I first write a small for sentence or a line for the
hmm,
stanza,
hmm,
and whatever the last word is, I search. There is a site called rhymezone.com.
okay.
So over there, I'll search the word and I'll find out the rhyming word. They they have divided into how number of syllables they have while we speak, and
Hmm.
then according to the feeling, I just use that word and then I because and according to the feeling I type it. That's how my whole stanza works. And when it's stories and like I take like months time to just write one story. And right now
Okay.
I'm working on something else. It's taking me a hell lot of time to just write the first chapter, the introductory chapter that I'm working.
For
When it comes to poem, it takes only 1 hour because of course I write it in flow. When it comes to stories, of course I have to like carefully plot it out. Then I write.
so you write on paper or you on laptop or something? Old school or
So
high
when it
school? I think it's
uh
high school or I don't
I'm
know
both.
that well, but yeah.
It's old school or new school. So like
Okay.
basically a mix of both. So I
Okay.
still have books where a few of my plots are still written, but I haven't converted them into stories. And then, like when I'm writing something which I cannot write on uh, laptop, I take a piece of paper and I start writing what I need to know and how should a storyline go. Or let's say if I want to write some background of the character, how he or she died, I write it on the paper so that I can easily look up and then type on the laptop. Once it's done, I compile it on the laptop and then I keep it safe so that whenever I want to get it published, I just send it to the publisher. Say this is the manuscript, it's ready, and nothing is copyrighted, nothing is it's not a realized story.
So you get it published at in magazines or something.
So the publishing house that I got my first book published from,
Hmm.
the Life on Club, uh, is actually from a friend. It's the friend's publishing house, and their books are just selling, I think so well because of course every publisher wants to earn money. So the thing is, I was actually in already a few anthologies with her publishing house, and I wanted to order some of the books which I hadn't got as a co-author. So she sent to me a message of, uh, being the solo author. I talked to my parents that this everything. I discussed it out with them and they agree. And of course, it's like I'm getting a lifetime of distribution of the book. And of course, this book I did buy a few of myself. Of course, I wouldn't get the royalty that I was promised because I'm getting them. But there was some royalty promised, and of course, my parents were happy that I'm getting that much percentages of the royalty. And of
Okay.
course, they went ahead, and we have one copy at my house as well.
So do you pay money while getting it published, or you got something in return, or like how was the process of getting it published?
So initially, I had to pay some amount to get it published, and because of course, while printing it and sending me the copies, the publisher needs to pay the printer as well, who prints the books and everything. And of course, they need to pay some amount to the government to get the ISBN number that
Okay.
each book has.
Yeah.
So ISBN, if people who don't know, ISBN is actually a barcode number that is
Mhm.
given out to book, and these barcode numbers are given randomly. They are not decided in order. They are just given out randomly and takes a hell lot of time because the number comes from the government.
How much time did
It
it take
doesn't.
to come for yours to come?
For my book, it took around 1 month. It like usually comes within 1 month. It came by July 6th. So it of course takes a lot of time. So of course this ISBN number needs to also go is given to the government because it becomes the identification number of the book that
Yes,
this this ISBN number was given to this book and it doesn't get allowed to any other book
other book.
as long as the book is on the shelf.
So to get this ISBN number, can you, an author, ask for the number, or only a publishing house can ask for this?
As far as I know, we can also ask for the number, but it would be safe that the publishing house asks for the number because it can be easily identified that yes, this ISBN number was given to this book and this book is being published by this publishing.
Okay.
So it kind of connects it and it helps the government to keep the record of each
Okay.
ISBN number that is being allotted.
Like I was asking this because Amazon gives you the ability to self-publish a book. So you can just like write a
Yeah.
book and you can go to the Kindle store and start selling your book. So that's why I was asking, because those books also have ISBN number.
Yeah, so like of course like for each product even if you see other than books even if you see like the of course not all clothing does, but like high brand clothing like brand Saxi, Pantaloons, all of these have tags and
Yeah.
on those tags are barcodes. So ISBN is like that barcode because it helps to keep a track that this many books have been sold and this book is still on the shelf, still being distributed. It helps the publisher, the government, the international world market of books as well.
That's interesting. Like I knew that ISBN is used to identify book, but I didn't know the whole process. So I think like it would be helpful in future when I'll publish my book. I hope I do. So as a writer, I feel that writers really need to consume other books and other writing pieces so that we can get acknowledged with different writing styles or other different perspective on the same thing. So which authors do you read through, and like what kind of writing style uh, fascinates you?
So of course over the years I have read Roald Dahl. I have read Amish Tripathi. I have read Rick Riordan, the creator of the Percy Jackson world, the Greek
I have
and
never
Roman
heard.
mythology.
I have never heard.
And
I have read
I have
Amish
read
Tripathi. He's good.
I have read a few books of Chetan Bhagat here and there, just out of curiosity of how he writes. And I have read, of course, I have read Dutyadatta. That was my sister likes it. There was in the past 2 years while I was studying, you know, English literature as my major.
Hmm.
I have read Sylvia Plath. I have read, uh, you know, I read the author who wrote Palace of the Illusion.
Oh,
I have read the books of Plato, Aristotle, all of these.
okay.
I also read Shakespeare. I read Chaucer. I read Chaucer. There are few books which I have to read again, of course, and I do love the style of uh, Shakespeare because it kind of like portrays uh, the tourist life, like Macbeth is portraying somewhat tourist life. Chaucer is also the tale of Bath of the Chaucer tale. We had Bath of Wine in our syllabus, so we
Okay.
were like we were connecting that story that was written so many years before
Yeah.
to the present time. Like we were like literally connecting all of these. Even like especially like if I go and buy books, uh, the books that I want to read next would be the Bridgerton series.
Will be the
Bridgerton series.
okay. Never heard of it. I would
Have
want
you
to
heard?
read Doom series.
So the Bridgerton series is actually a book series of book of 8 to 9 books,
Okay.
and now it has actually
I
it
think
is
is that
one of the
mythological one where they have like kids have powers or something.
no, the Bridgerton is actually a time period drama,
Okay.
and it has there are books adapted. There are movies adapted to the book. Not the
Okay.
movie, sorry. There is a show Bridgerton adapted to the book.
Okay. I've never seen. It's like send me the link for it after this episode. I'll surely check it out. So, like for me, I think that Jules Verne. I think how I don't know how it's pronounced, Jules Verne or Jules Verne. I think it's Verne, but he did a very like he did an incredible job in writing the sci-fi books. Like if you would read the sci-fi books from the past, I think they are very amazing, and I think they are amazing because what they predicted later on became proper reality. Like Jules Verne in his book, he mentioned about submarines, and if you know about this book, Hitchhiker, uh, I don't know,
So
forgot the name, Hitchhiker of the Galaxy or something.
So basically, for me, if I had to go and read sci-fi books, I would read the books of H. Mr. H.G. Wells. I'll
Okay,
not read anyone because because H.G. Wells had a background of science,
yeah,
and he literally brought that scientific things in his book.
The Invisible
And
Man. I think
then
that's
with
his book, no?
yeah, that is his book. So I did read that. The time travel was also his book. So I read these two books, and of course it was fun. And these two books were actually adapted into movies as
The Invisible Man. Yeah,
well.
I've seen that. I'm not sure.
But if I have to go and keep on reading books, I'll read something that has mythology and fiction mixed. So
Okay.
Amish Sapati has mixed mythology and fiction
Yeah.
and made it relatable to today's context.
Yes.
Amish Tripathi, like not Amish Tripathi, Rick Jordan, what he has done, he has just taken the older ancient Greek and ancient Roman mythologies,
Okay.
transformed it, transformed a little bit,
Hmm.
and made it into today's context, but continuing that plot. It was like that.
Who's the author of that book called Percy Jackson?
Rick Jordan.
Okay, I have seen the movie. Like, I really am interested in mythology, and that it was fun to
What
watch that movie.
uh,
Because I think you
the
learn a lot.
movie, the movie is actually like what happened was the first movie
Hmm.
was of course proper. In the second movie, what they did, they combined for a second, third, fourth, and fifth together. Made it in a small, cute little movie, and made it. It was like I
That's a
combined the
disaster.
rest.
That's a
It's like of
disaster.
course that was the biggest disaster that they did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So fortunately, now Disney is now making a series from the book.
Okay.
So I think so for they are going to have 5 seasons because there are 5 different books.
Oh, that's mine. Like, I think a series is a better way because you get more time to like properly show the details. Like, I think it's a good thing that Warner Bros made Harry Potter's last part in two parts. Like, the Deathly Hollow is a single book, but in the movies there are two parts, so they were able to actually give some details in that. So I was like very impressed. But whenever there's a mistake, yeah, that's not in the book, but they did on their own, like that really bugs me. Like, spoiler alerts. When have you watched that movie? I think you would have watched. Have you watched
Which
Harry
one?
Potter? Harry Potter.
I can watch it anytime again.
Yeah. So so no spoilers for you there. So you remember that scene when Harry and Voldemort have a one-on-one duel in the whole school, and when Voldemort dies, he turns into ashes. And I was like, what the hell is this scene? Because in the book, it was so humane. He just falls dead like a normal human. Because that, in the end, that's what he was. But no, in the movie, they have to make him into ashes. And like that really pissed me off.
If I see it from the creative mind, they actually show it because of course the last uh, Horcrux was the snake, Nagini.
Yeah.
Of course, as soon as Neville killed her and Harry killed Voldemort, they're showing him like if anyone has watching Annabelle at home, it's a
Annabelle.
comedy.
No.
It's a comedy horror movie, and it is almost the same take of Om Shanti Om, but a different way. It's a comedy horror movie, and as soon as the lover of the main character enters, like there are two main characters. One is the queen and one is the king. As soon as the king enters the, you know, castle, the palace, because the queen was already there in her next birth life body. She was already there in the form of student generation Kutka, and then there is a government officer comes in, who is the next generation avatar of the king. So it's like as soon as he just places his foot on the ground, the spirits of people who had died in that palace, they uh, got that, you know, moksha because of course, uh, uh, as soon as they died, they got the moksha and they went. So it was kind of like that. As soon as the last Horcrux was killed,
Hmm.
and Harry killed Voldemort, he just, vanished like a spirit or something. It's kind
Hmm.
of mixing the mythology and little bit things, I would say.
Yeah, like, I get the creative idea, but I won't lie. Like, it really pisses me off when the book, like the movie is not book accurate. There are only a few movies which I think are like very close to the book. Like The Martian is one such. Have you watched Martian?
I am not interested in that. But of course, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda. These two movies are like some something that I can watch, and I remember almost every dialogue of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. These two movies like have you know, not dialogue to dialogue, but almost scene to scene from these books. And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, literally in the book, they have the songs
They
in
have?
Charlie, the songs.
Okay.
Florida wrote the lyrics of the songs in the book. All they did was they took those songs, and of course they had to edit the songs. So they edited the songs as well, and they they put it on the movie.
Okay. That's a
So
nice thing to do.
so the songs were almost word to word, and scenes were almost scene to scene. Of course, we had to do creative editing here and there so that
Yeah.
it can still be connected to today's world.
That's a very good thing to do. Like these kind of stuff makes me really appreciate the director and the production team. Yeah.
Actually, the director is someone I like. He is Tim Bolton, and his wife actually played Bellatrix Lestrange. His ex-wife, I think. She played Bellatrix Lestrange in the Harry Potter series.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yes. So she also played Charlie Bucket's mother in the movie. She
Uh,
also played, I think, so Tim Burton actually uh, directed the live action movie of Cinderella.
oh,
Cinderella.
okay, Cinderella.
So
I
oh,
must be.
in that movie she played the fairy godmother. There are many instances where Tim Burton actually also made, I think so it's word to word story, like not word to word, but I think so almost scene to scene thing of Alice in the Wonderland book.
Okay. The latest one.
Both
Okay.
Alice in the Wonderland and Alice Through Looking Back. Here, I'll tell you one amazing fact.
Okay.
Alan Rickman, the actor who played Professor Severus Snape in the Harry Potter series,
Yeah. Alan
he
Rickman.
he he voiced the character of uh, the caterpillar character.
That
So
like
in Alice,
and like sorry if I'm not, it seems like I'm not understanding because I haven't really watched the movie and I don't really remember the whole details of the book. I just remember that she falls into the rabbit hole, drinks and eats something
she
and
went.
gets out. That's what I
They
remember.
so there is a caterpillar named Axilum.
Okay.
So Axilum was actually voiced by Alan Rickman.
Okay, that means like, Alan Rickman really seems the most accurate actor to play the role of Severus Snape because the resemblance really matches in the books and the movies.
Yeah, and also like if you see the second movie, Alice Through the Looking Glass, is actually was actually released after Alan Rickman's death.
He passed early, like he passed too early.
Yeah, fortunately his role was small, so they didn't have to like uh, hire another actor for the same role.
Like I have seen what they do in some of the movies, like if they are like really popular. So what they do is like they would take a like an actor's previous movies and they'll take all the dialogues cut them and then play it and make it look like it's playing, like the author, like the actor is saying, instead of the like instead of hiring someone else. But that's only
Yeah,
possible in the animation.
yeah, it is only possible when you go in the editing. But here the thing was in Alice in the Looking Glass movie was that before Alan Rickman died, the movie was already was already in shooting.
Okay.
So of course his voice was already recorded for the
Yeah,
movie.
that's a good thing. Hmm.
Even like right now, like I think so. Why uh, have you all know Marvel the MCU?
MCU,
That
MCU.
yeah, that is the comics one. Now we have the MU,
Yeah, we
the
have the movies. Yes,
movie
MCU
one.
has really grown. Like it's
Yeah,
massive
so like
popular.
we have like what we say the movies. But the thing was, before the Black Panther's second movie would
Yeah,
have gone under shooting, the main
yeah,
actor died.
yeah.
So they
Chadwick
had to
Boseman.
take another
Yeah, they have taken, but like what they are like, from what it seems, what they are going to do is that in the movie they are going to have a funeral for him. So like I'll somewhat of a nerd about superheroes, so I'll tell you this. So what the thing with Black Panther is that, like, for what we know is that Superman is a single individual character, right? No one else can play Superman. But the thing with Black Panther is it's not a person, it's a position. So Black Panther is the king of Wakanda. So what they are gonna do most probably is that they are going to have a funeral for him and show that he has passed away, and then they will make someone else the new Black Panther. So that's why they changed the story for Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
yeah, it goes like that. And of course, Marvel cannot like sue the actor for his untimely death because
Yeah,
he died of cancer,
yeah, and he
and they
didn't tell
uh,
anyone.
he must have told them. That's sorry.
I don't
He
think he
must
did.
have told them that I have cancer and I don't know how long I have to live. He must have told them by signing the contract with them.
I don't think he did, because like Marvel is very careful about these things. If he had told them, they would have never hired him. Like
So
Marvel has very strict kind of rules because they are under Disney now, and
look like
Disney is very despicable. The whole conversation was good, and before we like wrap up the episode, uh, do you have any writing tips for audience, or maybe for me too?
so of course like uh, of course for writing that I can give much about it. Just like whatever is feeling, if it's a poem that wants to come out, just start writing it. Don't stop. And if it's a story and you don't know how you want to go it, write down what you have in mind for that story, either in a book or on your laptop in a Word document. Save that in a place where you can easily access it to. And then once you think that yes, you have the whole story what line ready, you can use it.
So that's a very simple and like to the point advices. And I saw you opening your book. Do you want to read something out of it?
I don't know. I'm like there are so many things that I do like, but I'm not going to read anything out of it. I want people to actually buy and read it because instead of me reading and they connecting, it's better that they read it and they connect it to
Yeah,
it.
it's available on Amazon, right?
Yeah, Amazon and Kindle.
Okay. How do I get a signed copy?
Actually, all of my signed copies are now finished.
Okay, I think you can sign one more. I'll buy it. I have no issue in that, but
Yeah,
I have to manage how to
someone
get it signed.
like if someone buys it and they come up to me, so like get the book autograph, I'm ready to do that. Or
Okay,
all
so
the three copies that they're all finished.
I'll buy it. Okay, and once I'll come in Ahmedabad, I'll ask you, and we can catch up, and then we can get it signed.
So
Yeah, so I think that's it for today, and it was very fun having you, Riya. I hope you
yeah,
liked it too. So,
yeah, yeah.
uh, thank you, everyone, and I hope you all enjoyed the episode. And with that, I'll end today's episode. Thank you.